You guys all probably saw the announcement for Marvel Tōkon. And you probably also saw the memes. Hunter x Hunter and 2XKO dead before they come out. And it got me thinking, like, have we already nenned our last impact? Is it already over? Hashtag nen it down. I couldn't come on here and just let that game go peacefully into the night without fighting for it. Particularly the Guilty Gear players who are like, Arxis is the dumbest company ever. They haven't done a good bounce patch in their whole life. Being like, oh my god, life is so beautiful. I can't wait to be a Marvel Tōkon player now. You guys crack me up. Look at this thing, bro. Super Sentai Iron Man. Ha! Like, this shit looks insane. Marvel, the fighting game, has been in Capcom's hands and been something that Capcom has been making for like 20 something years now. And even watching this trailer, it's so funny how so many of the moves I see, I say, oh my god, it's charging star into shield skills, and then Iron Man does proton cannon. And you know, like, all the characters in this and what they do because of Capcom's involvement in this. So Arc System Works being the ones to make this game is wild. So it got people saying, like, is it over for Net Impact and 2XKO? Is this the end for our heroes? Before you ask yourself that question, is it the end for Street Fighter because Fatal Fury or Mortal Kombat or King of Fighters or Guilty Gear Strive or any of the other games that compete in the space for those other games? Is it over for any of them when like a new game comes out? I don't think so. Maybe it depends on what your interest level is, but there's a million 2D fighting games out that exist and coexist in the same space, right, for your time. The problem with versus games is we didn't really have a big one for a long time. The last large IP versus games were MvCI in September of 2017 and Dragon Ball FighterZ, which was early 2018. There's been other things to keep you chewing on, like Skullgirls, which has been updated and out since like 2012 or something like that. Power Rangers, obviously, BB Tag. These games have existed, but not very many big releases in a long time. Obviously, lots of games can coexist in the same space, right? You can have City of the Wolves and Street Fighter at the same time. You can have 3D games. There's going to be a new Virtua Fighter alongside Tekken. What is it about Hunter x Hunter and 2XKO's existence and this game's existence that people are so freaked out about? My first thought is I think most people probably don't play very many versus games, so they maybe don't even know the difference about like what these games are all like. All of them are pretty different, actually. From watching it and thinking about the gameplay from what we saw yesterday, this game is like nothing like what I think most people think about when they think about a Marvel versus game. And the way they're talking about this game, I kind of expect this game to not even feel like a normal versus game. Hunter x Hunter is a lot closer to what Marvel vs. Capcom is. It has sort of the DNA of Marvel vs. Capcom and TVC. It has some modern sensibilities that they put into the game. Things like active tag switching, which this game has and 2XKO has. Adding that to the game, I think, makes it much more similar to these games. Having one button specials also is a much more modern sensibility choice that they made. Not necessarily like this game, because this game they said has motion inputs and a mode that allows you to do one button special moves, right? They said that there's both. But that game to me reminds me much closer of an older versus game that would have been made 10 years ago. Kind of how Fatal Fury feels. Net Impact to me feels like a 10-year-old fighting game in a modern market. The one button special moves probably is the part that's the least of that feeling, but like the rest of it to me feels like three kids in a trench coat walking around like, hello fellow modern game fans. Now what is 2XKO, right? 2XKO is not like Hunter x Hunter in a lot of ways. It's 2v2 instead of 3v3 to start. The game feels a lot less like I do my assists and I do combos and stuff like Marvel 3 games. It's a lot more of like character in, character out. And it doesn't have the same damage, right? Like you don't die in the same way that you do in Hunter x Hunter. And the game has a burst and it has a round count. So it's offering like an even more different like kind of like approach on what the versus game thing is, right? It's like so different feeling. And to me, that game feels much more like an anime game that happens to be a 2v2 game for some versus games ideas rather than like a versus game through and through, which is sort of closer to what Hunter x Hunter is. And finally, what is this game? What is Marvel Tōkon Fighting Souls, Tōkon Ds? From looking at the gameplay yesterday and thinking about this game, I played Guilty Gear Strive's 3v3 mode. I know a lot of you didn't. It was terrible. It was really funny, but it was not good. The assists were invincible. Some of them were overhead, some of them were low. You could like call them while being hit. The netcode was terrible because it was 6 players. Like everything about it was bad. This, I assume, will not be like that, but this has a lot of the DNA of that. This is from the dev diary that they showed. As you can see, Iron Man puts out the missiles, hits Miss Marvel into the corner, hits her into the wall. This is Guilty Gear Strive. The way the characters were moving, the way the characters were doing stuff, the literal wall stick and then stage transitions that look exactly like Strive. Wall break and a positive bonus. This game will probably have something like this where you can like break the wall and then their assists are locked out or like something happens. A lot of the stuff they showed looks a lot more like Guilty Gear Strive with assists than Marvel vs. Capcom, which I think makes sense. Everything that they've said about this game, everything they've showed about this game, looks like they decided basically they wanted to be completely different from Marvel vs. Capcom. So the art style is completely different. The characters they're showing are like pretty different already, right? They don't even want to make a 3v3 game because they don't want it to be, I think, associated directly to like, oh, this is another Marvel vs. Capcom game. I think this game is going to feel and be a lot different than Marvel vs. Capcom. And because of that, I think that's going to separate it from even the other versus games in the market. They say 4v4 tag battles, and they just start calling every single assist on the screen, right? Like they call Storm assist, and then they call like, what's it called? Look at how many characters are on the screen at the same time. Captain America, Star-Lord, and Miss Marvel coming out at the same time. And there's Ghost Rider, Iron Man, like they're calling all these characters, and then Doom is out. There's 4 characters on the left side of the screen. So this is 8 characters on the screen at the same time, which is a lot more similar to how Team of 3 is for Strive than other versus games. They also mention, oh, you can just play one character in this game if you want, which also makes me think that you have 1 life bar. You know, the game is called like Marvel, it's like Soul, right? Maybe your soul is shared amongst all of your characters and they share their life like a team. And then once you run out of life, like all of them are done. Like he calls an assist, green, there's Captain America hits. When he tags in a Doom, you saw the soul transfer from his body to Doom, and the screen freeze. Everything washes out while the soul transfers, and then now Dr. Doom is the main character. Guilty Gear Strive, Team of 3. Guess how many life bars you had, guys? Yeah, just the 1. This looks like a dust. This looks like an air combo off a dust, and this looks like a Guilty Gear Strive wall splat, right? It looks way more like Strive Team of 3 with Marvel characters than it looks like Marvel vs. Capcom. And I think that's on purpose. It's going to feel like Guilty Gear Strive, the versus game, with some DBFZ sprinkled in, and like this one. This is a BB tag ender where like your characters come together and fuck shit up. It's made by Arxis. Like, what did you think it was going to be like? It looks much closer to that sort of like gameplay and stuff. So different from those other 2 games. And like what you like or dislike about each probably depends totally entirely on you. Hunter x Hunter is not for everybody. That's the kind of game that's going to make someone put a fucking hole in their monitor. 2XK is so different from that game. Offers, I think, like probably a much closer experience to what like most people are looking for like a modern versus game. And it's free to play. It's like completely different. Whereas Hunter x Hunter is $60 in this game is probably going to be a box package as well, right? So they all seem just so different from me. It's funny because you guys know I like Guilty Gear Strive. And I like Marvel vs. Capcom, and I like versus games in general. I think a lot of people out there don't like Guilty Gear Strive, and a lot of people out there don't like versus games. So visually, I think everybody is very excited about what this game promises. But I do wonder who this gameplay is exactly going to be for. LK was hating. You know, I hate to use a common phrase, but you hate what you are. I think he's a versus game player in disguise. And he just doesn't want to admit it. That's what I'm smiling about, because I know who I am and what I enjoy. And so looking at this shit looks like right up my alley. Now, notice how many people, once you dig in there and you start to look at it, are like, oh, shit. I like Strive. I like Marvel vs. Capcom. So I'm chilling. But all of you, I'm putting you all on right now. You don't think it's Strive? Knockdown, hard knockdown, combo. Wall break. That looks like it's going to be a stage transition for sure. You're telling me this doesn't look familiar? Grats for killing all my hype. It should make you more hype. You want to play a versus game where the wall doesn't break? Guess what? Nen Impact and 2XKO are right there. Hashtag Nen it up. Hashtag 2XKO it up. And what are we going to do when they announce a fucking Marvel vs. Capcom game? This game is going to come out and then they're going to be like, we got Marvel vs. Capcom also. Like, they're going to kill us, man. I wouldn't be that surprised if Marvel vs. Capcom 4 does happen. It doesn't have to be made now. But like, look at how hyped people are for this. The excitement around this is so insane that like, why would Marvel not want to make another game, you know? Local streamer single-handedly derails hype train. First of all, I think the hype train is still alive and doing great. Second of all, this game is showing you what it is and they're telling you what it is. This shit's gonna be sick as fuck. I always play multiple fighting games. This timeline for me is just, I'm just smiling because I cannot wait. I have so many games to play. I'm fucking pumped. Whether it appeals to you or not, maybe depends on how the gameplay actually shakes out. But like, it's like right up all the stuff that I like about a video game together. I'm so happy. I'm gonna play the fuck out of some Nen Impact until Tuco drops. I'm gonna play the fuck out of some Tuco until this game drops, and then I'm gonna play whatever the fuck's the most fun between all of them when all these games are out. Like, this shit is just awesome. There's not a negative bone in my body viewing this shit. We're just eating. Tuco, Tōkon, doesn't matter. Put me in there, coach. Sony does own Evo though, so we might have an alpha at Evo this year. Of this game, please. If this game is playable at Evo this year, fuck commentary, bro. Fuck all y'all. I'm going straight to the booth. You won't see me on air. They'll be like, what up, everybody? We're back here at Evo. It's me alone. Sajam not here. I don't know where he is for a shift. I'm fucking neck deep, feet first, playing some Spider-Man, Doom, Captain America, Ms. Marvel. This shit's gonna be over for the rest of you.